obligations that have not been met, and at this point, we cannot pull the plug unless we are certain that there are very gross irregularities that have been committed. Is it fair to keep this in view?
Chairman, as we keep it in view, I also want to request the committee, maybe to request the governor to provide us status report on implementation so that we are able to know what is the current status. We have a written status report on that project. Because when the response was done, our team did not get enough time to go to the ground to verify the status.
So, Governor, in your response, there's no status report?
Annex 15, Chair, the status report is provided. Is it the status report?
Project status is at 5th of March 2025. Okay, Patrick, can this help so that even when you're doing a follow-up, you can use this as the benchmark?
That's okay, Chair.
So this is okay?
Yes.
So we keep it in view, but we refer to the status report that is in here. Okay, but I think then the bigger recommendation that we must take to the House Clerk is also on the release of the funds from the national government. Once the House has adopted the additional allocations, then the funds should be sent to county governments without deduction and without delay. We are assuming that you are getting the money, but in the real sense, the money is not coming to the county governments. So this we shall keep in view, and that concludes the bulk of the report that we have. I think the last one was internal audit reports. Governor, you have confirmed, do you have an audit committee in place? Has it always been in place, or there was a transition?
There was a transition. I think they just started, which month?
They were inaugurated in September
2020. They came into office in September.
In September. Who approves the internal audit plan?
It is the audit committee, Chair.
So since September, have they approved a plan?
Yes, right now they have an approved work plan for this financial year.
Which you are able to share with the auditor?
Yes, we can share it.
No, did you share it with the auditor?
No, it was, they were referring to the other financial year, but for this financial year.
You are talking September within which you are reporting?
No.
You know, you are supposed to give them reports by 30th of September.
2024 is when the committee came into place, but the report is up to up to June 2024.
So it is a fact that in the year under review, there was no approved internal audit plan. That's a fact.
You've confused me. Sorry.
It is a fact that there was no internal audit plan at the time of audit. There was no approved internal audit plan at the time of audit. That's a fact.
Yes, Chair.
What you are saying is that in mitigation from September, an audit committee was put in place.
Yes.
Do you have an internal audit function, head of internal audit, and staffed and structured?
Yes, we have.
Auditor General, maybe before I get to you, Senator Maruma.
Yeah, maybe, Chair, that might not be adequate to mitigate that now there is in place an internal audit committee. Maybe we also need to know what the challenges were moving forward. Why did we have this very important aspect of internal control before? And you can't say Kirinyaga is some county somewhere far-flung. Kirinyaga is a county in the middle of Kenya. What were the challenges? Maybe if you get to know them, then you can mitigate.
Governor?
The term of the internal audit expired. So
the audit committee?
Audit committee, sorry. And so you have to start the recruitment process again.
What was the gap between expiry and September?
6 months. Do you have a response?
the CEC look backwards? You know, you are the person in charge.
The CEO.
I was consulting, I don't give the wrong period, but it's about 6 months.
Between the lapse of the last committee and the establishment of the new one. Nancy Gathungu has always told us a county without an audit committee, that's a red flag. And I would have expected that, Governor, in your county, that would not be the case. So the work of internal audit is extremely important because a lot of the things we are dealing with here, if internal audit was functional, with issues of loose doors and shutters and rollers not in place would not come to the Senate. We would focus more on the additional grants and what the Senate needs to do to give effect to its resolutions. So
maybe for the auditor, is there any instance that you've gone there and not gotten reports from the internal audit department, because then that's what you refer to as a benchmark as you do your own audit, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, during the year under review, we were able to engage the, because it's part of our understanding of the entity, where we are required to look at and rely on any work of the internal audit. So in the interrogation of the internal auditor, he could not be able to provide to us any reports he had done during that year. So in absence of the report, we did not have anything to rely on in just to minimize maybe our test, so that we'll be able now to concentrate on other areas of audit.
okay, this is the internal audit committees tells you how fiscally prudent, fiscally sound a county is. So please keep this in view. Now that it's in place, see whether it provides adequate guidance to the executive on these matters that we are dealing with. The last issue here was valuation report and ownership documents. Auditor General, you said you'd received some supporting documentation here?
Yes, we have received a copy of the green card and as such, but the title is not yet.
Governor, what's the status of the title on this? Kamweti land. Governor, your mic is off, so you might not be unanswered.
Chair, the Kamweti land is fully owned by the county as evidenced by the attached copy of green card and such. See Annex 17, Kamweti copies of ownership documents. I submit.
Auditor General, having looked at Annex 17, what do you make of it?
Yes, Annex 17, we have the copy of the search and also the copy of the green card, which has the details to show that the county owns the land. But now the title, we can maybe inquire on the process of obtaining the title.
Governor, does the title exist? Does the county have the title, or it's in progress? You've got a search that shows that you own the land. So do you have the title?
The title is in progress. I'm informed the title is in progress.
And can there be, is that captured anywhere in your written response?
The written response
you
just
know in Kenya
says
the search alone is not sufficient.
the written response just talks about the copy of green card and the search.
Is that the conclusive evidence of land ownership? Auditor, you're the one who raised this.
Yeah, it's not a conclusive evidence.
It's not conclusive.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, if there is some work in progress, it would have been important for it to be captured here. But since you are, Governor, since you are making your submissions on oath, you will probably, you could give us an account of how far you are so that we take that response on record. Governor, how far are we with the pursuit of the title deed? Since you didn't write it down, you can make your submission orally.
I will request the CC Lands to respond to that issue.
Proceed.
CC Finance.
She just been demoted or promoted. Okay, proceed.
The sugars are running a bit low. What I was explaining to Her Excellency is that the Department of Agriculture has officially written to the CC in charge of lands to fast track the title deed for Kamweti. So we are expecting that process should take about 30 days to be completed.
30 days, so within our 60 days of implementation matrix, we will be seeking a report on how far that has gone. And please, next time you refer to those correspondences, make sure you carry copies of those correspondences. So this matter, in our view, is not resolved. We'll keep it in view and we'll insist on an up-to-date report within the 60 days. That brings us to the end of the 3 reports of the Receiver of Revenue, County Revenue Fund, and County Executive. Honorable members, are there any matters to raise in closing? Auditor General, any observation in closing?
Chairman, I think we don't have much, but only that if there's any information that the management was to give to the Office of the Auditor General before we embark on report writing, that should be done almost immediately. There's something they said they'll give, I think, tomorrow. Yes. That should come to us immediately.
And I think when we say that they provide you with that evidence, it's really for them to prove their case. Because if they don't, then we'll just write our report in an adverse manner. We had agreed when Nancy was here, and I'm happy that this county has not come with truckloads of documents, because we have agreed that we will no longer be taking truckloads of evidence, because those should have been given to the Auditor General as at the time of audit. So unfortunately, by 31st of March, our report must be in the House, whether the county responds or not, because they ought to have responded at the time of audit. Any other observation? National Treasury?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. COB?
Nothing, Chair.
ESCC?
None, Chair.
But I hope you've seen the smoking guns and areas where you might need to look into from a corruption risk assessment.
Yes, Chair. The recommendations of the committee have been noted, and also areas of concern have been noted.
Okay, thank you. Bringing it to a close, honorable members. Senator Ambua?
Chair, I think we can bring this to a close. Maybe with just a comment. My general appreciation of the entire exercise is that the county government of Kirinyaga, fairly, to a very great extent, seem to have answers to the issues raised. I only don't understand why what they are presenting orally could not be captured in the management responses. Because a lot of those things that they are presenting orally could have done very, very well if they were captured in the management responses. Otherwise, I have nothing more useful to add.
Thank you. Senator Gata?
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing much to say on that. Kirinyaga is not just the other county, it's just a county headed by a person known across the board. And we don't expect to have very many issues, just like the ones that we expect from other counties. Governor Waiguru is a big name in this country, so we expect to have something very smooth from Kirinyaga County.
Thank you. Senator Dulo?
All the best.
Vice Chair?
Yeah, Chair, maybe just to relate with what Senator Wambua said, that most of the issues needed not to be escalated to this level if they had taken maybe their work more seriously. And one thing I would say, maybe I like the governor because she's hands on the deck and she has a lot of grasp of the issues happening within the county. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, your remarks in closing?
Thank you, Chair. We have noted the observations from the committee and we will endeavor to respond within the stipulated timelines. Thank you.
Yeah, in closing, when I look at the issues raised in the 3 reports, there was no reason why the county did not get an unqualified opinion, because the issues raised that qualified the financial statements are fairly easy matters to resolve. So I hope that out of this interaction, everybody else is going to take their work seriously so that we can spend lesser time on accounting issues and spend more time on policy issues. And just a message to the other officers who have accompanied the governor is that whereas the governor takes overall responsibility as a CEO, we will also not hesitate to assign individual and professional responsibility in cases where we feel that professionals have fallen short of their calling. So once we take our report to the House, I think we shall follow up again in another 60 days as required by the Public Audit Act to see to it that some of these things have been done. I hope that our budget's allowing. I think we've been to Kirinyaga for a devolution conference. It would be good sometimes to have these conversations at the grassroots so that we are not talking about a fire station from Nairobi or talking about a dispensary from Nairobi. It would be nicer for us to be seen on the ground. So we have aspire that when you are coming to follow up on implementation, we can come to the ground and perhaps we might have a much more positive outlook of the things going on. Because if you're just looking at the financial statements, sometimes you might think that it's all doom and gloom until you go out there and see the impact that investments of the county government are having on the lives of our people. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. The committee meets again tomorrow at 9:30. I think we might need to adjust the time, considering how much time this has taken. Perhaps, honorable members, can we agree to meet at 9? Yeah, because if the House was sitting, it would have meant that we would have only done half the work. And then tomorrow we can be much more efficient. Auditor General, you'll help us isolate the mundane bookkeeping issues so that we start with the bigger project issues. For example, today, we started with small issues. We ought to have started with a bigger